Yep. 0057theta. They say that magic means a lot of different things to different people. Across practically every world line you travel to, it is just as much an art as much of a science. It can involve things like playing with shape and color. For example, a simple ball like this can be easily morphed and separated into two. You can literally play with light and shadow, as by gripping one here, they literally return to the same spot. But it's not just color and light and shadow that can be manipulated. Sometimes you can even play with things and make shapes come out that are least expected. But in the process, everything turns to the same way it was. And even with that, as I said, playing with light and shadow, here is the light, and it disappeared. Whoop. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. Even every magician has a little bit of a gaffe day. But as I was saying, this is the light. It drops in and plays into the shadow, and it's gone again, just as light, shadow, and existence are ephemeral. Anyway, enough about that. I have popped in on 0057theta to an art gallery so that we can take a look at the art and discover something possibly truly magical. Art can come in many shapes and forms, as was said about my interplay with light and shadow and shape. But take a look at these two pieces right here. The multicolor expression of both the circles and the squares makes this pair a neat little piecing. If we even could take just a step back to reflect upon what we're seeing and realize that this is not the only way to juxtapose things, there are plenty of examples of this kind of abstract art. They make you feel incredible things, and they make you see the geometry of what can be done with beauty to improve the human mind. Sometimes, something real, like this arbutus tree, can be taken and made more abstract in a way to semi-fictionalize it to give more of a pack of a punch. Not that Observer reporting docudramas from parallel universes to the real world would know anything about that. These landscapes are definitely beautiful. They kind of evoke a sort of more natural-esque feeling that, at least if you're on a parallel Earth, would be pretty much the same no matter where you go, but each would have its own intricate little details that make the scene calming, interesting, and make you desire to go explore there. Even especially something like this. They say trees in particular. They say trees in particular do evoke a certain sense of calm and wonder, not unlike this river scene here. Of course, this could also be just as much a beach scene with that little bridge connecting the sand to the trees as being a tidal zone that's always covered otherwise. But hey, that's how things go. Now, according to the artist's blurb on this one, they said that this was to try to give some form to the intangible, basically representing all the human connections between families and friends and relationships that they saw, and hopefully be able to convey that to people, the intangible, the human connection. If this can represent the human connection as is, perhaps we can see a much more artistic side to our world when we see things like the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio in a mathematical side like I do, or just abstract lines and colors on a canvas. Maybe through the magic of juxtaposition like that, they can evoke a truly magical feeling within us. Many magicians I've worked with have said that magic actually happens in the mind. If that is true, this would be a prime example of it. This is a portrait called Lady in Violet. It's just a portrait of a lady wearing a bonnet and a violet outfit. The fact that she's holding her hand, though, implies that she's holding something there. Let's reach in and see what it could be. Right there. Ah, what do you know? It's a gold coin. Huh, I might keep that for good luck. We will end on this portrait of sheep. They seem and look so restful. Perhaps it's time I return to safe haven and count sheep myself. So, tonight we have seen from this art gallery in 0057theta the geometric, the abstract, and the literal. Once again, we have seen the geometric, the abstract, and the literal. In all three of them, we saw a unique kind of beauty which did evoke a magical feeling. I know that I will have greater appreciation for the work my wives do, Anya with her geometric sense, and Gloria with the artistry she works with computers. Anyway, it is getting late, and I do have to get home to safe haven for supper. Thanks again for watching this Observer Report, guys, and in the meantime, stay frosty. Good, I arrived at the right spot. So, I am using a section of the back rooms where hopefully no critters will find me, because I wanted to make an addendum to this Observer Report. Firstly, I wanted to clarify a couple of things, and secondly, all that artwork and the magical way it was presented made me inspired to do a little bit of magic of my own with a painting, or in this case, a couple of portraits. And I do mean a couple of portraits quite literally, because they're the King and Queen of Spades back to back, and all I need is them, this picture frame, and a pen. Because you see, what I'm going to do is I've got this picture frame right here with the two. Now these are star-crossed lovers, the King and Queen of Spades, because I'm going to take a pen and quite literally penetrate my way through. Hang on, let's see if I can do this. I just haven't focused my magic enough yet. There we go. And I'm just going to try to. And as you can see, I clearly penetrate my way through both portraits. Now, why is this magic, you ask? Well, hang on and let me show you. I'm just going to put the pen away here. And while I do that, I'm going to take out the Queen of Spades, who, as you can see, is properly swung through. I'm going to take out the King of Spades, who you can see is properly penetrated through. But when you look at the picture frame itself, which has a piece of glass in between, take a look at this. The middle part I stabbed through, completely solid. Anyway, I thought you guys would enjoy that little bit of magic, and I will keep the couple in their respective spots on back-to-back sides of this picture frame until I need them again. Until then, they will go back in my secret dimensional compartment inside my cloak, or rather connected to through my cloak. Now, I wanted to clarify a couple of things. Some things that I didn't get to say because the cars were driving by. Number one, I admire my three wives' capabilities with art. I admire Anya because of her incredible, remarkable, beautiful tapestries she sews, as well as her geometric sense and what she does with a gun. I admire Gloria for the incredible work that she does, both in magic from her own day and that she does with computers. Some of the stuff she does is incredibly brilliant and I still don't understand it. I also admire the work of Alina, my third wife. She has retired from her role as matriarch of the particular world line known as the Cimmerians and has mostly spent time in Safe Haven, but she does her own little bits of poetry and portraits and other things like that. And even though there's small pieces that she doesn't really want to show, I just wanted to have it on record that I love her for it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to return to Safe Haven now because it's time for supper and counting sheep, as I said in earlier parts of this Observer Report. But I hope you guys will come back and watch another memory report next week. In the meantime, see ya! Okay, real talk from behind the scenes of this most recent Observer Report that I filmed at the Art Gallery of Greater Victoria in British Columbia. The website to them is linked in the description of this video, but let me tell you what actually happened here. When I called earlier in the day, they told me that there was a admission-free period from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. where I could go into the art gallery and I could film this project. When I got to the art gallery at around 10 to 5, not only did they tell me that it was actually the day after of this filming, so tomorrow, not today, but also they were closing at 5 o'clock. And they told me that I could go into the mansion area, which was free. Just as I was setting up to film too, somebody came in and said you're not allowed to film, despite the fact that I had been told on the phone that I could. So in other words, the person behind the desk was full of shit, for lack of a better word, and that as a result I was lied to, and I literally had to explain what I was doing in order to finally get the person who was telling me I couldn't film to allow me to film. I would not advise going to this art gallery. They seem to be a bunch of liars, or at least completely mixed up. Either way, not worth the trouble.